Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I am Renuka and we are adding stitches and fabric and felt in our journal, and we are learning the different techniques that how we can do that. So we did this in the last video and we have something here we didn't do that, and we are talking about the fabric clusters as well as the other stuff. Let's do the cluster. So in the last we are talking about this cluster and we decided to put something here, something like that, and I decided to put that on the particularly on the paper that we just stamp and use our ink. So it's something like that we are planning to do. Now here the thing, if you don't like this plain thing, you can use your distress inks. If you don't have distress ink, you can use any ink. Like here I will see if I have more color on this ink, it will get abrupt texture, and you know I like that some kind of like you can't imagine that kind of thing. I loved it. Like I'm just muting down a little bit of that fabric. It's pretty vibrant. So one technique I told you is that you can just add this thing directly on the fabric and you can staple it down, okay? But if you don't want to staple and you want to add more marks on this paper also, and you want to add this paper here also, then I'll suggest you. So then we will do this. Now I have already blue inside and I don't mind, so I'll start from here. I will not make a knot, I'm just going back and forth running stitch here. And what happened with this stitch is, I'll just put it here. I don't have to use the blasting pins for this. Now it's totally done in one stitch, and then I can add more marks wherever I want. So I can go just back and forth like that. Okay, and now here we have this thread outside which I don't want. I want that in front, but this thing gone. So if you have these kind of threads, like they are frayed and you can't use it properly, then easiest way to use them is use any glue on it. Glue will give you little bit of stiffness to that particular thread, so that you can use it for the threading. Some days came in your life while crafting that glue is not working, tip is dried, your ink pad is dried. So don't be frustrated with that, you know. Think, oh, it's not happening with me only. There are many other people who are going through the same trauma. And at that time what I do always is, rather than frustrating, I just laugh at myself aloud, and I was like, okay, no big deal, it will happen, so happen, I don't mind, because I can't do anything now. Then I'll try all my bottles, whatever bottles I have for the stuff, and then so now you can see we can have we can have little bit there, and then I have the small thread, and what will I do? I will just do the same thing on this side also. I just want to put this. So now you can add papers to these clusters also, the one layer of paper and other layer of a fabric. Mostly I do that when I staple or I glue. While sewing I just don't, because most of the times your paper tear apart, and then that didn't work properly, and then again you got frustrated. So rather than doing frustration, I think you should try this one. Like for only this 2 blasting stitch, we have get all this stuff together. It's not done, but it's kind of there. Okay, now I can add more stuff to it, more colors to it. Let's see what I want to add. I can add these kind of stuff here, something like that, or I can add the full cluster on the another felt sheet, or what else is, as we planned before, we can add this whole cluster on the paper, and it's looking so beautiful. And I can add the stitches here. Maybe I'll choose a very vibrant color like green or black, something like that, or maybe I'll choose the red especially for this. And now I can try a little bit of other knot. Like I will use here French knot. I will not take much more. I'll just take more than my hand. Like when I sew, this is the old technique that how much thread should be your hand, little bit of more than your hand. So from this to this, elbow to fingers, little bit more than that, so that you can, you know, put this on this edge. And now we can make few knots here, or we can stew something. So let's see, can we make few French knots here? Okay, so now I will just 1 2 3, and then I'll go back. Now remember, it is just for a fun. This is like nobody wanna come and see your journal, or if see also, like it's totally depend if you want to display on the social media, or you know, give something idea. So it's totally for you, your peace of mind. So that's why this slow stitching or stitching in the journal counts. And you can, you know, learn new things, play with the things. You can decide what you like, what you don't want next time. Just remember one thing, don't ever throw your project, any project. If you don't like your clusters, please don't throw it. You can add few elements and it will become awesome. So never ever throw anything, and you will get that. Now we can add few French knots here. Then I added 3, maybe I can add few here. So let's go. Now again 1 2 3, and then I'm going inside just like that. So make it little bit wonky, add few things more. 1 2 3, I'm just repeating this so that if someone don't know how to do this French knot, they will grab it easily. And I just want to make it very simple, whoever is watching. And then after this we can add the full cluster to our paper, and then we can stitch on the paper also. That paper is pretty delicate. What we choose, this paper is pretty delicate. This paper is like book paper, and I just little bit put color on them, so it's a pretty delicate one. So if we choose like felt, right, we have this on the felt, we can choose this, like we can put this here also somewhere, and we can, okay, we'll not do that, but here now I'll make a knot and see where we want to do next. Okay, so again we can directly stitch this cluster, fabric on fabric cluster, rather than mixing with the paper on this one. Something like this, or I think this. And we can stick it, we can staple it, we can stitch all around these. So let's stitch all around it with a different color. I think this pale orange will look good because we have something orange here, and then we can do all around the chain stitch all around. Okay, so chain stitch is this one. I mostly choose 6 strands while I doing this kind of work. And why? Because it looks more prominent then, and then I'm having the trouble. I have the thread. Look, now let's use the threader. Okay, rather than struggling, it's better idea to use this. Sometimes my eyes go so. So how to use the threader? Simple. You have to put that in the needle and then put your thread inside the big threader and then just pull it out. Okay, sometimes it's a lifesaver. That's why I put it in this tin where all my supplies are there. And you can see this. If you're not using a good embroidery thread, you will get this kind of stuff. This one is like from DMC. It's not a very good quality, but yeah, it's okay. Sometimes I use it. Then here you can just add little bit of dots like lines, or you can add the V-shaped lines here, so that you can see on the back side also. Let's do the V-shaped lines. That will be fun, I think. So we will have the lines on both the sides. Okay, so I got this. I'll start from here. Okay, so if you want to do chain stitch, you have to go back there. And oh, we are not doing chain stitch, we are doing the V shape, right? So we will create that. So I'm gonna put here and here. I hope that is not a big V. And then it's a V again. Then I'll go back here again, come up. So all these stitches you want to draw, it's totally dependent how you want them. If you don't want to make it complicated, you can just go ahead and make a running stitch, or here I make one V and then I just make this chain stitch like from the pot, something coming out. So it's totally depend. You can mix and match your stitches here. It's your project, remember? So nobody can tell you what you should do. So this is the chain stitch I'm making. For the chain stitch on other side, you will say just the dotted lines like these. Okay, this is the V stitch first we make. That's why that's coming on the back side, but that is also giving a really nice, beautiful kind of thing. And then when I reach the top, I will just stitch around with the same thread. Okay, or I can just here there is a one knot happened, and I'm not able to. Okay, so just okay, and after this I can just go around with the running stitch all around it, okay. You can add a different stitching here. Let's do that. I'll go this and this side with a different one, so I will just, now remember you are creating something on the background also, so background, no, back of the, I'll put it little bit thread more to get that tactile thing. And now on this side we can just add lines here to here, here to here. So we can just go by the running stitch, we can just go like 2 big stitches, whatever you like at that time. Okay, I'm not putting a knot, I'm just putting this so that I will get little bit of. Now for the other row again, now remember this is the simple cotton, and these are few stuffs I have, the fabric I have. So this fabric is become little bit stiffer because of those acrylic paints. That's why I'm choosing not a very small needle but nice sturdy needle to sew it. If you got any kind of problem while doing these kind of projects, just check your needle. Sometimes the fabric is so hard that whatever needle we are choosing, it's not working for that fabric. Sometimes the needle's eye is very small, so it take little bit time. That's why I use the threader, because I don't want to get frustrated. I just want to, you know, do the stuff. So these are the few pros and cons you can see when the things are happening. Look, now we can do this threading, so you can do almost anything. So I just put this fabric cluster here. I just don't want to put the that paper back in there, but you can do the paper back. If you don't want to sew all this, you can, if you already have your things, then just make this cluster and attach it with the stapler. That will also do the work. You don't have to sew every time. So I'm planning to tell you the stuff that where we can create that total stamp, and then we can frame it. So basically if we stamp image here, you can go round, oval, or you can just make it a circle frame with the chain stitch like this. Simple. Okay, and if you want to add, if you want to add these kind of stuffs, you can add this here also, so it's look more taller. And this side also we can add something, or we can put something here while stitching, like this. We can add this here. And for this you can use the fabric glue. I have this fabric glue, but there are so many fabric glues out there, you can use that. And if you don't have fabric glue, you can use the hot glue gun, or just staple it or sew it. Like here, if I don't get anything, just I want this one, this here, so what can I do is I will staple it. I can staple it just like that. Okay, so I think you also like this technique. There is one more technique where you can go just back and forth in the line. If you're doubt, like if you're very perfect, you want to make a pencil mark or mark something like that, you can do that. I do my work very intuitively, so I don't mind having a little bit here and there. I think that not perfectness, imperfectness give the more element and more personality to the work always. So then I have few left here, and then I will give something different here. So I can just, you know, go running stitch all around wherever the threads end, and I will not cut the thread or not the thread. I will just hang that. Again, you can add the beads to them, you can add some fun elements to them. with the end of the thread you can do that, right? Now you remember here also we create a pocket. If you saw, like here, if I want to add the small bead or button, I can add that. That will be fun. But here we already create a pocket, and we can put something in that pocket like this, or I can fold this inside. Now you can see we can add more elements. Now it's looking really nice. I loved how it turned out. I'm gonna put this just like hanging that way, and let's add here. I have few more. Let me see if I have. Okay, I can just staple them, or I can sew them like that. That will be also fun. So I hope you like today's project also, where we just attach this element to this one, and I'll come with more ideas in the next video. So until next the video, have a crafty life. Bye bye, take care.